Hi everyone, welcome back. So the first thing you might notice is that I've still got a Deku stick on the B button, when previously I had a boomerang there. That's just one of the side effects of the bottle adventure glitch, which I abused quite a lot in the last video to do Jabu Jabu as an adult. Whenever you do a save warp with like a strange item on B other than the sword or whatever, then the game always reverts it back to a Deku stick, and you know, pressing the button, it still does nothing because I've got 0 and I don't need to do any more RBA or BA, so I'm just going to equip the sword, which as you saw was completely unequipped. There wasn't even a ring around it like there usually is. So the last thing that I have to do for the main playthrough of the main part of this playthrough, I mean, is to go and finish up the child dungeons. Now, I could go and do Dodongo's Cavern just by entering Kakariko like that, but then I'd have to sit through the cutscene where you learn the Nocturne of Shadow, and I really don't want to do that, so I'm gonna fail at Super Slides for quite a while, and then after that I'm gonna go through the forest to get to it. So yeah, everything's going exactly as planned so far, it seems. But yeah, after the Dodongo's Cavern is done, which is going to be really quick, I'm going to have to go and do the last dungeon as an adult, which obviously should be the first dungeon as a kid. But before I even bother to talk about that, let's focus on the Dodongo's Cavern. And my bomb count is actually getting pretty low. I don't like that. I'm going to have to try and replenish it somewhere. You know, at this point it probably would be better to just go to Kakariko and sit through that cutscene, but it's just so much more work for me. I just cannot be bothered, because then I'd have to edit it out, because no one wants to see it, especially me. So, unfortunately for everyone else, we're taking the long route again. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can pick up bombs inside here, so that's alright. This thing here usually has bomb drops. That's good enough for now, I guess. At least I can take a quick shortcut here and just hookshot my way up. In theory, I can do that. Okay. There is a way to just like hit these things and it just sort of pulls you inside them and you just clip on top of them. But I can never get it to work. It's not important anyway because I'm already at Death Mountain. That was actually a lot quicker than I thought it would be. I keep forgetting that the Dodongo's Cavern is actually just around the corner here. So I'm gonna backflip off here. I could pick up that heart piece if I wanted, but I don't want to because I don't need it. So, but yeah, that is a cool way to get that heart piece if, for whatever reason, you don't want to get it the normal way. I think normally you're supposed to like plant a bean or something. It takes ages. Anyway, we're back into Dodongo's Cavern. As I mentioned before, I could have finished it the normal way the last time I was in here, but all I wanted to do then was to get the bombs, and I purposefully did not light the eyes on the skull, which I could have done by dropping bombs on top of it from that bridge, because there's a much cooler way to do it, which I wanted to show off. So I'm gonna pull out my bomb chews. That's what I'm gonna use for this. In fact, I'm gonna save the game just in case I happen to waste a bunch of these. So what I want to do is I want to align with this wall, just in here like that. Just make sure Link is like actually in the corner as well. I'm gonna slowly rotate 90 degrees to the right. I'm gonna backflip. I'm gonna drop a bomb chew. I'm gonna wait a little bit, then drop another one, and hopefully that's one, and that's two. You can see where the explosion happened. It was kind of on the nose, but it was still close enough that it activated both of them, and I timed them just far enough apart that they would actually still cause it to happen. So with that done, I can just quickly enter the skull. In fact, I'm going to save the game again because I am paranoid. So there's a bunch of rooms you're supposed to normally go through in here. Obviously, you go through there, you go through tons of rooms and you push that block down onto the switch in here. Not going to do any of that. There's a much quicker and easier way, which also works as a kid, by the way. So if you are doing this dungeon as a child, you can just use this trick as well. It's the same thing I did in Jabu Jabu's belly to postpone the time that a switch is active. So I'm just going to get my full bottle, and after that I'm just going to walk on top of this switch and I'm going to empty the bottle as soon as he touches it. I'm just going to back walk onto it because it's easier that way. And As you can see, the switch did not go down. He drops his fish. I'm going to pick it up again because I should have time for it. I don't really need the fish anymore. I've kind of used it as much as I really have to. And you've only got a few seconds to get to the door. Yep, missed it. I cannot believe that. But whatever. We'll just do it again. And I have no idea where I am, which is why I did that. And I'm about to get my ass handed to me anyway. I really don't want to like pull out my sword because I'd have to pull out the bottle again. Alright, well I guess I'm just going to leave this fish. It isn't really hard to pick it up and still make it, but whatever. I don't want to fail it more than once, so bye bye. And you can hear the door shutting before the bars actually come down. You've got about a half second after that noise rings before the door actually will be shut. So a couple more bombs here. I'm going to get a jump slash ready because I'm going to need that to kill this guy really quick. This boss isn't actually any quicker as an adult as it is as a kid, because obviously the Deku stick is just as powerful as a Master Sword, which I guess was a pretty big oversight on their part. Lets you pretty much destroy everything as a kid. So really easy procedure, you just chuck a bomb into his mouth and then give him the equivalent of 2 jump slashes and he's done. So that's the first, you can only do one at a time. If you just stand on this little ledge here, you won't touch the lava, but he won't be able to hit you either. It's like that for the entire little pond. So same thing as before, and this will be him dead. Really, really easy. Probably the easiest boss in the game. I mean, you might think Gohma, the first boss, is supposed to be the easiest, but she can be kind of annoying if she like starts spitting the eggs at you and stuff. This guy's a complete joke from start to finish. So yeah, I'm going to point something out actually as soon as it lets me control Link again. So obviously I do have the Goron Ruby, and that is because I got it as a result of Reverse Bottle Adventure, a really like ridiculous glitch that I exploited in the last video to get the Song of Time. One of the side effects was that I also got this. After going through this warp, I'll now have the stone from the cutscene, so it's like legit, I guess. And obviously the goal for this playthrough was to finish all of the dungeons and do it in reverse order, so it was important to do this. And as you can see up the top there, the ring was still on top of Death Mountain. That's because, although I finished the Fire Temple, I never watched the cutscene where that ring goes away and is replaced with smoke. Now, I normally edit these out, but I want to show this cutscene off because it's really silly looking. Especially this part. Like, Link is knocked out cold for this entire scene now. And he also still has his kid voice, which isn't always the case in cutscenes like this. But yeah, this cutscene isn't too long anyway. And there's also some weird thing that happens at the end of it. Whenever you're a kid and you sit through this cutscene, it puts you on the trail up towards the top of the mountain, because obviously at that point in the game you're supposed to head up and get magic right away. But if you do this as an adult, it puts you back at the start of Death Mountain Trail, so it's quite far away from here. It's kind of strange that they did that. Because obviously there's no real point where you're ever supposed to finish this as an adult. So here's the Goron's Ruby. That means there's only one thing left to get, and it won't take me too long to get it. It's definitely one of the cooler dungeons though, the one that's coming up. Obviously this one was pretty quick, and as before we can't see the stone, it's just completely invisible, which is always the case if you sit through one of these cutscenes as an adult. So the text that you get here it's usually a little bit different based on which stones you've already got. It says right there that I've collected all 3. Obviously I haven't. The reason it says that is because even in a normal playthrough, if you sort of go out of your way to do it, you can actually get the Zora's Sapphire before you get the Goron's Ruby. And that's just why they put that text in. But the game completely assumes that you will have the Kokiri Emerald by this point. So here's some little trivia, I guess. That last word there, brother, is not capitalized in version 1.0, but it's capitalized in all others. And it's such a stupid, pointless little detail, but there you go. This is one of the things that they changed. I just wanted to do that. I was hoping I would have landed in the loading zone, but whatever. And as before, it's safe to enter this place from any of the other entrances, just not the main one, because then the cutscene will happen. And I intend to finish this playthrough without ever seeing that cutscene, because it's really long. And I've already beaten the Shadow Temple, so I don't have to worry about it. I should have actually checked in the plants at the bottom of that tree to see if I could get more bombs, but not important. I'm just going to head back to the forest again. Actually, can these things drop bombs? I think they might be able to. Doesn't matter. I think I should have enough. Yeah, I should definitely have enough. I'll be good. I can restock in Ganon's castle when I eventually get there anyway. So let's hope this goes a little easier this time. Okay, perfect. Well, it would be perfect if I could do it with one bomb, but it's much more difficult to do that as an adult than it is as a kid. Okay, hopefully I'm not gonna... No, I'm definitely gonna get stuck by the tree. Oh, never mind. Oh, whatever. It's too hard to control, so I'm just gonna head in. I want to get in there before it turns night, because I hate playing this game at night. Just think the atmosphere is pretty crap, especially in places that don't have music at night, like the forest, for instance. So here we are again in Kokiri Forest. You can see the Deku tree away in the distance. That's exactly where we're going to head to. As I pointed out earlier, the 5 rupees on the stepping stones just isn't there as an adult. I guess that's just one of the things that are different between the two states of the forest. Obviously the adult has like a different state from the kid. So I can't actually enter this dungeon normally because the mouth is still closed. Although something interesting is that because... like obviously when you're an adult the mouth is always closed, even if you did this dungeon as a kid. But normally the Deku tree would have died in the cutscene after it, and he would have turned grey, but he's actually still brown here. So there's a couple of ways that I can bypass his closed mouth and get inside anyway. The first of them is if you go back here. I'm not actually going to do this one because it isn't really that cool to show off, I don't think. You can super slide into this corner, equip your hover boots, and you can just sort of navigate a little bit out of bounds and land behind the mouth where the loading zone is. The method that I do want to show off is starts back in the main area, and I think it's a lot cooler to see. And this is actually why I wanted to have some bombs, because like I'm probably not going to screw it up. It's not really that hard, but whenever a trick comes up that requires bombs, I like to just have as many as possible, and that is actually better. Okay, I'm satisfied now. So the first thing I'm going to do is climb on top of this little tree stump, and I'm just going to equip the hover boots. I'm just going to run around here and grab this ledge. Take the hover boots back off because I need to have them off for this next part, and I'm going to put a bomb behind me, and I'm going to wait for Link to get pushed off at max speed. So this is the exact frame I want. That was pretty lucky. So on this frame I'm going to equip the hover boots again, and then a short while after I unpause I'm going to slash my sword in the air. And that puts me up here. So you can see already that only that part of the Deku tree exists here, and she's telling me to go to the Deku tree. That's not a problem. That's exactly where I'm going to go. Not all of the land up here is solid, as you can see, so I have to make sure that I stay on the safe parts. You can sort of see the seam there. That's pretty much where the fake land starts and the real land ends. Ugh, the real land ends. Jesus, I cannot talk today. So anyway, I'm just going to walk over here. I'm going to be careful that I don't accidentally walk on some fake land. Yeah, okay, so I pretty much want to land inside the tunnel down there, which leads to the Deku tree, but be past the loading zone. So I'm just going to get a running start. I'll just do a jump slash as well. So now I'm in here, and the Deku tree is completely unloaded except for the top. So I can just run straight to where his mouth would be, and fortunately for us, it's not actually loaded, so I can just walk straight in. So here we are, the quote-unquote final dungeon of the game. First thing I'm going to do is equip these, because this is the quickest way to get rid of the webs. I don't actually need to get rid of that one, but I want to do it anyway, because I'm going to show something else later on with it. If I go near that, Navi is going to talk to me about vines and how to climb them and all that crap. Not interested. So there is a glitch you can do in here where you super slide through this corner. It is very precise. Like we're talking maybe sub-pixels here in terms of how precise it is. And you equip the hover boots and you navigate out of bounds a little bit and you make it into the boss loading zone. Obviously that is the fastest way to get there as an adult, but it's not the easiest, and it's not necessary anyway, because I can do a cooler way. So first thing I'm going to do to get down to the basement without going the normal way is I'm going to clip through this ladder. I did something similar to this in Zora's Domain as an adult. If you just sort of stand where I am and shoot it like that, press A then B, he just falls right through. So I'm going to get rid of these boots now actually, because they are making me slow down a little bit. So I'm in the unloaded basement, which is completely and utterly useless, so I need to climb up some of this until I hit the loading point, and then I can just drop back down and everything will be normal. You'll sort of see the bottom of the screen change, yeah, like that, so now I know it's loaded. And yeah, everything's here as though I was a kid, all the sculptures and whatnot. Fortunately the adult is tall enough that you can just climb straight up here. So yeah, I shouldn't have unequipped that actually, because I'm going to need these right now. So let's see if I can do this little slide. Nope, I couldn't. Or whatever. Sometimes if you exit water with a lot of speed, you can move around pretty fast. So I want to show this off. If you use the mirror shield, it just breaks the nuts. So I'm going to have to use the Hylian shield for the first time since I got the mirror shield in order to put in the code, which is 231. So that's 2. That's 3. And 1 is being a jerk. There he goes. Oh my god, he's running away. Well, as long as I stand here, he can't really get me, can he? Yeah, you just have to target him. So he's going to open the door to Gohma, and I'm going to go kill her right away, which obviously is going to be really fast because I am an adult. But I'm not going to exit the dungeon right away because there's something else that I want to show off, which is really, really cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a power crouch stab stored just by jump slashing in here. That means that all my power crouch stabs from here on out are going to be as powerful as a jump slash. So let me think, do I have the nuts equipped, because I'm going to need them. You can't actually hit Gohma with anything except for Deku nuts as an adult. You would think that the bow and arrow would work, it doesn't. Even the hook shot doesn't work. Her eye is like invulnerable to everything except for the slingshot and Deku nuts. Fortunately I have one of those things so I can still kill her real quick. Which item do I have that on? Okay, so... Oh my god, she's running away. I can't believe this. I don't even think there's anything I can do right now because I can't reach her. Does a Deku not reach that far? I don't think it does. No, there's no way it does. That's crap. Yep, I'm just gonna have to kill her babies. Well, you know, it's her own fault. She sent them down to hit me. If you kill them before they actually hatch, it's really quick. Okay, so hopefully if you guys do this, you'll be able to kill her right away with 3 very quick stabs, but obviously I am not very good at this game, and I had to do it in 2 cycles, but that's okay. The point is she's dead. And if I wanted to, I could just leave the dungeon right now and get the Kokiri's Emerald, but that's really, really boring, and there's still so much stuff I can show off. Gonna grab this first of all. Don't really need it, but might as well take it as a token. So the next thing I'm gonna do, rather than going that, is just save warp back to the start of the dungeon. And the reason I'm doing this is so that the cutscene, the next cutscene that I see, is this one right here. Now this is, I mean I've probably mentioned this before, but it's like technically considered a cutscene, this opening thing where you see Link on his horse. So it's important that that's the last one I saw because I need that cutscene's value for what's about to happen. So I'm going to head back down to the basement. I'm going to try and do a super hop to get there actually. My position was bad there, oops. No, I do want to get this because I like this trick. Nope, I'm not going to accept this. Okay, that's better. This just puts you straight back over here. So I can just go back down. Now you might be wondering why I couldn't just do this next trick right after killing her. The reason is because, well, obviously when she died, and also when I entered the room, there were cutscenes that played, and both of them have values that are not what I need right now. I need that value from the opening cutscene. So what I'm going to do now is the same kind of thing that I did in the Fire Temple. I'm going to do some ridiculous crap with the warp, and if all goes to plan, I should end up somewhere pretty cool. So in order to make this work, I actually do need to pause in this room, because that just, I don't know, it just gives the right value for something, I don't know. It's pretty complicated. I'll put links in the description to explain this better than I can. This doesn't work as a child though. The pause thing will not work. It will not make the game make that cutscene usable, if that makes sense. But as an adult it does. So yeah, what I'm doing here is I want to line up with this wall. This one right here. You can see where it is in relation to the warp and in relation to the entrance. Just going to line up. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to go past this little bump and I'm going to back walk beyond it. Just going to side hop to the left. Just going to neutral roll forward until he touches it. 2 side hops to the left, and then I'm going to do Ocarina items, which is a backflip. Press the button for the full bottle that he's holding, and then press the button for my sword. So let's do that. So he's now in the warp, but I'm able to control him somewhat. I'm going to press B and I'm going to start holding right now. I'm going to start pausing. I'm looking for a specific frame. It's actually, there's 3 frames that work here, but pretty much when Link starts to get outside of the warp is what I want to pay attention to. So one more just to be safe. I'm fairly certain this one works, but I know this one works. So when I unpause this time, I'm going to throw a Deku Nut, and at the same time I'm going to hold left and Z. I'm going to start walking to the left. I'm going to side hop once, and I'm just going to keep walking the rest of the distance. So now I'm all the way back to this door. The warp is completely out of view, which means that the little timer on it, which obviously when it reaches 0 the cutscene plays where you see the Deku tree again, it's been postponed and it will continue to stay off until I bring it back into view. Now I'm not going to bring it back into view until I open the door. When I open the door, it's going to be in view for like a split second, and that's going to cause basically the warp to reach its timer at 0 at the same time that the room outside from here loads. So what I'm doing right now is I'm walking against this wall, I'm targeting it, I'm going to hold Z, press B, crouch stab twice, put my sword away, and I'm going to do a side hop, and then I'm going to roll right away, and that's going to make Link roll sort of up left, and during that time I'm going to release Z. So let's try that. Now I can stand here for as long as I want, and when I press A, the warp is going to very briefly come back into view, and it's going to expire just at the time that this next room loads. So hopefully everything will go as I've planned. And yep, as expected, I'm now in Ganon's castle, and also as expected, I have the Kokiri Emerald. So I can save the game now. The Deku tree is completely finished. The main object of this playthrough, I guess you could say, is over because I've now done all the dungeons, but there's still plenty of stuff to show off. So yeah, I did save the game. When I reload the file, it's going to put me back in Ganon's tower. If I were to go through here, this will start the castle escape sequence, because that's actually where I was right there. I was in one of the rooms from the castle escape sequence, so I've actually managed to bypass Ganondorf here, and if I was trying to complete the game without the light arrows, this would be how I would do it. I'm not going to finish this right now because there's still stuff I want to show off in Ganon's castle, so I'll just reset to get away from that. But yeah, I am now officially in the last part of the game. I don't really consider it a dungeon, but I guess some people might. If that is the case, then the rule that I set where I'm doing them in reverse order, this one is exempt from it. So I'm in Ganon's tower, which is actually pretty cool, because if I go back out here, you'll see that the barrier is actually still up, because I haven't done any of the trials. I am going to do all of them, because there's stuff in pretty much all of them that I can show off, which is really cool. But before I do any of that, I'm going to head back outside, because you might remember that I haven't actually came to this place while having all the medallions, because that makes the bridge appear outside that lets you get in here normally. It's not here. So by exiting the dungeon, I'm now pretty much in an infinite loop. I can't do anything except slash my sword on the way down, or maybe pull out my bow or something. So yeah, I'm pretty much stuck here. You can turn him around a little bit just as he's fallen, but yeah, this is an infinite loop. I'm just going to have to wait for him to die. Not going to do that. I did save the game in there so I can just reload my file and everything will be fine. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.